Among the many movie tie-ins released during that era, one title stood out for its action-packed gameplay, Die Hard, the official mobile game based on the film Live Free or Die Hard. Developed and published by Gameloft in 2007 alongside the film, Die Hard was one of many blockbuster film adaptations that established Gameloft as a leader in mobile gaming. At the time, Gameloft had built a strong reputation for delivering high-quality games on devices with limited hardware capabilities. Die Hard is a perfect example of that. In the game, players step into the shoes of the iconic action hero, John McClane, and are tasked with stopping a group of cyber-terrorists attempting to shut down the United States' digital infrastructure. The storyline closely follows the movie's events, bringing its explosive action directly to your pocket. The core gameplay is a side-scrolling action platformer where players run, jump, crawl, and shoot enemies across different levels. There's even a stealth element that allows you to sneak up on enemies and take them down quietly, something quite advanced for a Java mobile game at the time. But the game doesn't stop there. It also features intense driving sequences where players chase enemies through the streets of Washington, D.C. This adds an arcade racing element to the game. On top of that, puzzle-based mini-games break up the action and add variety to the gameplay. These include bomb defusal and hacking challenges. Another interesting feature is Rage Mode, in which McClane enters a slow-motion shooting frenzy and takes down enemies dramatically. This mechanic helped capture the cinematic feel of the movie, making players feel like true action heroes. Visually, the game pushed the limits of Java phones by offering detailed sprites, smooth animations, and dynamic environments. While it may seem simple by today's standards, this level of polish was impressive for devices with tiny screens in 2007. But the game wasn't perfect. One of the main criticisms was that it was too short. Many players could finish it in just a couple of hours. Additionally, some felt that it followed the same formula as other Gameloft titles and lacked deeper innovation. Still, despite these drawbacks, Die Hard was widely praised. It delivered a fun, action-packed experience. It stayed true to the spirit of the film. In 2009, Doodle Jump, a simple yet incredibly addictive mobile game, took the world by storm. Developed by the independent studio Lima Sky, it quickly became one of the most iconic titles in mobile gaming history. Brothers Igor Pusanjak and Marco Pusanjak created Doodle Jump and first released it on March 15, 2009. The game's unique hand-drawn style and charming design were inspired by simple doodles sketched during meetings. In the game, players control a small, four-legged character known as the Doodler. The objective is simple: jump from platform to platform and climb as high as possible without falling. However, the higher you go, the more challenging it becomes. Players must avoid enemies such as monsters and UFOs while using power-ups like jetpacks, springs, and propeller hats to continue climbing. What makes Doodle Jump truly special is its simplicity. It had colorful, hand-drawn graphics. The mechanics were easy to learn. This appealed to players of all ages. Over time, it expanded to multiple platforms, including Android, Java phones, and even consoles, reaching millions of players worldwide. Released around 2012 to coincide with the blockbuster movie, The Dark Knight Rises attempted to capture the intensity, atmosphere, and story of Christopher Nolan's epic conclusion to the Batman trilogy. While limited by hardware, it still managed to deliver an engaging and memorable experience for players at the time. The game was developed and published by Gameloft, a company that dominated the mobile gaming space during the Java era. Known for pushing the limits of what mobile devices could do, Gameloft often adapted major Hollywood films into interactive experiences. Players take on the role of Batman as he navigates Gotham City, faces off against enemies, solves environmental challenges, and progresses through levels inspired by the movie's storyline. The gameplay blends combat, platforming, and light puzzle-solving elements. Batman can punch and kick, as well as use gadgets like batarangs to defeat enemies. Timing and positioning are essential, especially since the controls are limited to a numeric keypad. Despite this limitation, the game feels responsive and satisfying. One of the game's standout features is its incorporation of key moments from the film. While the full cinematic experience couldn't obviously be replicated on a Java device, the developers used pixel art, cutscenes, and dialogue to tell the story. Players will encounter familiar elements, such as the chaos in Gotham, the looming threat of Bane, and Batman's struggle to rise again after defeat. The soundtrack and sound effects also deserve mention. While simple, they help build tension and immersion. Punches feel impactful, gadgets sound distinct, and background music adds a sense of urgency to each level. Another interesting aspect is the game's progression system. As players advance, they unlock new abilities and face increasingly difficult enemies. This creates a sense of growth and keeps the gameplay engaging throughout its relatively short runtime. Of course, like many Java games, it wasn't perfect. The limitations of the platform are quite apparent. The controls can feel cramped, particularly during intense combat sequences. The enemy AI is fairly basic, and while the levels are varied, they can sometimes feel repetitive. Additionally, the condensed storytelling means that some parts of the movie's narrative are simplified or skipped entirely. But despite these drawbacks, the game succeeded in delivering an impressive portable Batman experience for its time. It's also worth remembering the context in which this game existed, as it was a very different time, and the rules of the game were different as well. In 2012, not everyone had access to powerful smartphones or app stores filled with high-definition games. Java games like The Dark Knight Rises were often downloaded through carrier portals or transferred via Bluetooth between friends. These games were accessible, affordable, and incredibly popular. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next editions.